Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. Oil tankers are among the largest and most important vessels in the entire global shipping industry. The first oil tankers were developed back in the late 1800s. Some of these modern ships can carry up to 2 million barrels of oil from one part of the world to another, contributing to the sustainability of billions of homes, cars, and heavy equipment. Based on traditional shipping vessels, these were only able to carry a few hundred tons of oil or just a few thousand barrels. By World War II, the need for oil and gas skyrocketed, and so did the capacities of the boats. As the 20th century wore on, improved technology allowed for larger and larger ships capable of carrying crude oil, refined petroleum products, and liquid natural gas. In 2018, there were well over 100 oil ports spread out worldwide, with more than 60 in the United States alone. Though each of these ports has its own standards and practices, the loading, unloading, and storage operations are essentially the same. Generally, tankers are allocated berths based on factors like vessel size, cargo type, availability of facilities, and scheduling. Berth allocation is typically managed by port authorities or terminal operators. Depending on the volume of oil or natural gas moving through the port, these teams can consist of dozens or hundreds of people. The tankers are generally loaded or unloaded using loading arms or hoses, which port crews can connect to shore-based pipelines. However, due to the hazardous nature of this cargo, ports will generally subject the ship and transfer system to a rigorous inspection before this process can take place. Numerous protocols and regulations are also in place to prevent accidents, such as fire and spillage. Even when dealing with ports in developing countries, there will almost always be firefighting and emergency spill response facilities nearby. Like many other shipping vessels, modern oil tankers are categorized by size. The largest of these ships can measure up to 1,500 feet long, which is larger than most cargo ships, aircraft carriers, and cruise vessels. That said, most of the space on board these ships is dedicated to massive tanks used to store petroleum. Crew quarters are confided to a tower at the rear of the ship, atop which one will generally find the bridge. This area contains the galley, living quarters, recreational facilities, and storage. Meanwhile, the ship's lower deck is typically dedicated to a spacious and well-maintained engine room. The average large vessel will boast a crew of 20 to 40. Life for these men and women revolves around work shifts and schedules. The crew typically follows a watch system, where they work for a designated number of hours and then have time off. The work can be physically demanding and involve various maintenance, monitoring, and cleanup tasks. Being at sea for extended periods means limited contact with the outside world. Fortunately, most modern ships have common areas where crew members can socialize, read, or exercise. Due to several high-profile oil spills over the past 50 years, oil tanker operations at sea are much more focused on safety than anything else. Modern ships boast double hulls in order to reduce the chances of a spill, even in the event of a collision. The boats must also carry advanced technologies such as GPS and electronic chart displays, and information systems to enhance vessel positioning accuracy, route planning, and collision avoidance. Due to their size, berthed oil tankers are generally positioned side by side while in port, a process known as double banking. Pulling off this type of maneuver involves a lot of teamwork and communication between crews. Generally, it involves multiple tugboats and specialized fenders to prevent the boats from coming into contact with one another. Of course, crew members are more highly trained than ever to ensure they know how to use this equipment properly. As the penalties for oil spills have increased worldwide, shipping companies have had to increase their training efforts dramatically. One way they're accomplishing this is through investment in simulator technology. After all, militaries have been using simulators for decades, as they provide a safe environment to train employees without the associated costs and risks. Crude oil cargo handling simulators do the same thing. Essentially, they are designed to simulate and train personnel in handling and managing crude oil cargo, providing a realistic virtual environment replicating the operation and conditions found on actual crude oil tankers. Though the actual simulators differ in function, most can accurately replicate the tanker's control systems, cargo tanks, pumps, valves, pipelines, and other equipment associated with cargo handling. They can also simulate specific scenarios, including cargo leaks, fires, grounding, collision, and other critical incidents. Mitsui O.S.K. Lines, a Japanese transport company, has pioneered the use of this simulator technology. It also uses simulators to train personnel in proper operation of turbine planes. As with the cargo handling programs, these simulators incorporate advanced physics-based models that mimic the operation of turbines, generators, and associated systems. They can also simulate a wide range of scenarios, including startup, shutdown, load changes, and emergency situations. In recent years, the use of liquid natural gas has increased exponentially all around the world. Not only is it useful for electricity generation, heating, and cooking, but its higher energy density means more energy can be stored in a given volume. This makes LNG more efficient for long-distance transportation, as it requires less storage space. That said, just like oil and petroleum, liquid natural gas needs to be transported from port to port using specialized ships known as LNG tankers. The first of these boats was developed in the 1950s and boasted a relatively simple design. However, modern vessels are highly complex, with multiple safety features such as double hulls, improved insulation, and advanced cargo containment systems to prevent leakage or spillage. Different shipbuilders use different designs when constructing LNG carriers. However, most models have several components and features in common, even if the size and structure of the ships differ. The primary feature of an LNG ship is the cargo tanks. These are the primary storage containers for LNG. They are typically constructed using advanced materials such as steel or aluminum alloys, which boast high tensile strength and low temperature resistance. These tanks must also be heavily insulated to keep the liquid natural gas at temperatures as low as -260 degrees Fahrenheit. Many modern LNG tankers utilize a membrane containment system inside their cargo tanks. These consist of flexible barriers made of stainless steel or invert. The ships will also feature an array of specialized pumps and vaporizers, which are used to load and unload the liquid natural gas and to maintain flow through the storage tanks during transit. Living and working aboard an LNG carrier is not entirely dissimilar from any other type of cargo ship. However, it's worth noting that, like oil tankers, modern LNG carriers are extremely large and boast a wide range of sophisticated technology. As with most ships, work schedules follow a rotation system, with crews working for several weeks or months, and then having a roughly equal amount of time at home. While on the ship, safety takes priority. Indeed, all crew members receive extensive training to handle emergencies, including firefighting and evacuation procedures. Regular drills and exercises are conducted to ensure everyone is well prepared for any potential contingencies. Some larger energy companies, like Shell, have floating LNG facilities spread around the world. These are highly specialized platforms designed to extract, liquefy, store, and transfer natural gas at sea. They enable the production, processing, and export of natural gas reserves simultaneously, dramatically streamlining the process. These are also among the most advanced vessels in the world, amounting to mobile, floating refineries. As LNG becomes increasingly popular, hundreds more of these facilities may soon reside in the world's oceans. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.